Yeah. We've got John Bolton, the political figure, apparently. Maybe,
of course.
might not actually be him.
Maybe
It says, lovely to see you lads at the round table. Wish you chaps happy Friday. Cheers.
Thank you.
Stay classy, Los Angeles. Thank you, John Bolton,
Yeah,
whoever
cheers,
you
John.
may actually be.
Yep.
We've got another super chat from Steve-O, who says, T&E and Bellular keep me interested in WoW. Mankirk has a house, but I don't, and I've saved Azeroth countless times. More customizations, transmogs, things that matter. At this point, I can't come back. Which I think a lot of what Steve-O was speaking to is stuff we've talked about thus far, which just is that thing of, gear can't last for everything. Gear just doesn't do it for loads of people. We need more than gear. So, Steve-O, I agree. And you know,
Yep, spot on, man.
I actually think the best way to make, just to pull out of a hat, and because, I have enough of a personal rapport with Mike that if I get something wrong, it's grand.
Yeah.
But I think the best way to keep Preach happy as a mythic raider is to make player houses and put loads of lore in the game.
Yeah.
And I say that because, I don't think those are things... I actually think those are things I know that Mike loves in other games, like RPG, March, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But in World of Warcraft, dude's more of a raider. That's his big concern, right?
Yep.
So, if World of Warcraft had player housing and there was way more of a focus on the world content and stuff, and that was just enough to keep loads of players happy, such that the raiders just like, gonna go do my raid, done my raid, job's good, I'm done.
Yep.
I think the best way to keep the Mythic Plus people and the raiders happy, and in a way I fall into that category in some ways, and as do you, I think it's to keep those things simple, to prioritize and giving us good boss fights and more boss fights and fun progression, and just, not keeping it over, not making it overcomplicated, and then just putting the efforts elsewhere to keep other people happy. I think that's best for the health of the game.
Yeah.
And in a way, putting less time and effort into the things that surround raiding is probably the best way to keep raiding good and pure.
Yeah.
And just focused on the raid and the content and the experience of going in with your mates to kill some bad guy.
Yeah, it's like they need to combine the 80-20 principle and case to just kind of go, all right, just do most of a good job for 5 different groups of people instead of putting all of our resources into doing a job that's not actually even perfect yet for one group.
Yeah, I mean, food analogies, we love them over here. One of my favorite food analogies is trying to juice the pulp. So imagine you make a beautiful thing of juice. You're like, delicious. I've loved my juice.
Yeah.
And you're like, I wish I had more juice, but I don't have any resources. Okay, I'll put the pulp back in the juicer to try to get more juice. It often feels like Blizzard trying to use systems to just squeeze as much as they can out of the content they've made. It just feels like that. But the problem is, the juice that you get from juicing the pulp is bitter and horrible. And it doesn't make people happy, even though they like juice. And maybe that's, something's happening to some elements of WoW. That obviously is a bit reductive, but, hopefully there is some sort of point that stems forth from that.
Loads of bullets, not one silver bullet, loads of bullets.
Riddle me! Riddle me with bullets! Blizzard.
Oh dear. Metaphorical ones.
Yeah. Then Daniel M says, my friends who just turned 20 tell me that Classic and WoW sucks because it's an old game and it's too slow, and go back to play Destiny. Thoughts? Look, the brainworms of modern... Zoomer. The brainworms of modern psychologically aware design have just got into their heads, and
Pew pew.
that's it. They obviously are maybe more optimizing for the short-term feel and the short-term gratification, which Destiny does awesomely because, me and Matt know that because we've put a lot of time into Destiny. But what's key is we don't put time into Destiny over time. We will just play it a bunch for like one weekend, and then we're done. Yeah. And I guess a lot of the modern games are like that. Now, that said, Marvel's Avengers is trying to be Destiny. Anthem tried to be Destiny.
Yeah.
Everything that's tried to be Destiny's failed, basically.
Yeah, it's really difficult. It's like it feels like that was the whole big trend of games for a long time, was just how can we turn this into the closest thing to a literal Skinner box that we possibly can. Skinner box, the thing where was it the pigeon or was it
pigeon, I think.
It was a pigeon, tap the thing, got food. That was it. Just tap the thing, get food. Press button, instant result. Just constant You press a button and your brain gets all this dopamine, you're happy. But it's super quick. It's not a long-term enjoyment thing. It's like it's the fundamentally different to what Classic was, which is a long journey. It's the equivalent of reading tweets versus reading books. Classic is reading a book, but Destiny is reading a good tweet.
Yeah.
I think, and that's a good way to kind of get the age part in there as well.
Well, playing Destiny's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's it. And, I think World of Warcraft's strength, where when it is strong, its strength is that it's not like Destiny.
Yeah.
That it is something for the longer haul. I think that's what's beautiful and special about World of Warcraft and about the MMO genre. Mm-hmm. So I would always advocate for a game that, unfortunately, Daniel, your friends don't like. And in a way, I think you'd advocate for that as well, because you're the one trying to get them into the game.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty much just how it is.
Yeah, there's just, I guess, a push and pull because they're people.
Yeah, oh man, we've gone for 3.5 hours, so I think it's time to wrap things
nice.
up.
Sweet.
Oh,
Sweet.
sitting is sore.
Yeah, not much.
Yeah.
Gone.